It's a nice map that's it doesn't allow you to stall out the game too hard. Once you get those curses, you
Mm,
usually see quite good teams. They'll be like syncing them up with like a boss or maybe an easy push with
mm.
the bot lane, and they can do these big ass split pushes and really pressure the team. So you don't usually see these games in Cursed Hollow and that sort of thing going for very long. It's very similar to that of Blackheart's Bay. But looking at the first two bans here, and I mean, they're pretty speedy, I must say, just concur. Onyx eSports banning out Tyrande and Team Deathmatch actually banning out Uther. So these
Mm.
two bans, to be honest, they're not too extravagant. They're not too out of the ordinary. We saw a lot of it in the games that were just played the other weekend. A lot of people were having trouble playing against Tyrande if she was ever picked, which was
Mm.
I'm pretty sure was like one game she was picked, and it just really shut down the whole dynamic of their team comp. So Tyrande a really strong pick at the moment,
Mm.
and especially on this map, being able to stop the caps with the worldwide bird, as it were, a lot of power comes from that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, especially cursed holders, you're definitely seeing a lot of you have to channel to pick up the attributes, and that's the
Mm,
big thing about cursed holders that you can play those sort of pokey games, and because
mm,
Tyrande has that global range with the owl, she also has stun. Her lunar flare is actually quite a good distance as well. It makes it very easily to keep the tributes at bay and allows your team to get to the objective, or even just stay in lane and soak for that little bit longer. So,
mm,
and you said the Uther banning. Uther is always going to be a top tier hero as long as he has that divine
yeah,
shield. It's such a good get out jail free card. So
yeah.
we've seen the rest of the drafts coming up now. ETC, Reyna picked for Team Deathmatch. ETC, pretty solid pick right now with the scaling changes and natural changes to himself. Just a big player in the scene, can drop
Mm.
massive mosh pits. And then Reyna himself, very good auto attack, going to be pretty good at this map because he can poke. He's got the extended range, just his natural trait. And so Onyx is going to obviously follow that up. Their first pick was Kelthus, high damage, and then their follow-up picks are Karazim and Muradin. So Karazim actually a little bit of a Uther change or Uther replacement,
Mm.
and then
Karazim's
Muradin.
a really
Mm,
strong character. I mean, I really didn't think too much of him for a while. He
Oh,
was
look at this. This is a really good ban actually coming out by Team Deathmatch. So they took the ETC, so they're obviously taking Mosh Pit. But look at that, they banned Felstad. I mean, that is just a vital ban there because
mm,
Felstad taking his Mighty Gust at level 10 can really interrupt ETC. But Team Deathmatch goes, you know what, we're going to remove that, and you're purely going to have to rely on whatever your next picks are. And Sonya
exactly.
and Jane, oh my God, a bit of a powerhouse coming out here.
Yeah, it's really going for that slight wumbo potential, not to
Mm,
the full degree, but even if the problem with ETC is if you've got a team comp that kind of relies around the ultimate
yep.
holding, it's quite bad. It doesn't
Mm,
really work out for you to the best degree. So having heroes like Jaina and even Sonya and
mm,
even Reyna with that mini stun, say ETC gets knocked out, he can just a couple of immobilizations can be tossed out by those heroes, and it can just allow for that ETC ultimate to have a bit more power in the game. And also, you can set up for the ETC ultimate, like getting people in a clutch ring of frost, or even getting them into a nice clump where Sonya can even maybe pick up leap. I was seeing a lot of that the other week, so that was pretty interesting as well. When people were mostly picking up the Wrath for a very long time, but Rhaegar, very strong pick, and I actually really like the Sylvanas pick as well. I mean, Onyx eSports have a really nice team comp for really kind of countering the ETC. It's going to be quite hard for ETC to find opportunity to get in there and
mm,
really make the fight
yeah.
his own or for his
Mm.
team.
See, and that's funny you say that, but then they've also got Sonya, team deathmatch with Sonya. I mean, she's going to cause havoc in that back line, especially if you're right and she does take leap. She can jump onto
Mm,
those backliners like Sylvanas or Kelthus, keep them preoccupied, distract them, stop them from getting their Sonya, the Wailing Arrow, or even getting a gravity lapse off to deal with the ETC mosh pit. I mean, an ETC is going to be looking at diving onto one of those characters anyway,
mm,
picking up maybe a Kelthus or a Sylvanas merged with the Muradin. So and then they've got the Jaina to follow up with a huge burst on top of those mosh pits. So Team
mm.
Deathmatch is going for Onyx Esports are doing a good job of trying to counter pick, but Deathmatch plays this right, gets onto the objectives, and then gets onto Onyx Esports sort of backlines, disrupts it, and then just wrecks their front line. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup here.
Yeah, I would have to agree there, but I mean, I can't help but think about the Teriel, I feel like the Sanctification is going to be picked. And I feel like if he did pick it up, It would be such a good pick.
Mm,
And just looking at their team comp, with the ETC, you know he's gonna be coming in. You can almost guarantee it. You know, it's kind of an unsaid rule. You know, he has to play at the front line. He is the tank, and he's gonna be looking for that opportunity. So if Tyrell can get a clutch Sankoff, it could win them the fight full out from there. The Jaina ultimate will go down. It'll be nullified, obviously.
mm,
And that's pretty much all their damage. I mean, Reina, powerhouse in his own right, but without any kind of CC or any form of pressure to keep them away from Reina, he's just going to have a really hard time. So, I mean, I'm really liking both the team comps, but I got to say, Onyx eSports,
mm,
I'm really liking their approach to handling the ETC pick. They got a lot of ways that they can mess with ETC. And I mean, due to the silence, the sank, the stuns, the revives, if ETC tries to get a cheeky pick on maybe, say,
mm,
a lone Kale, Karazim can get a clutch ultimate off, save him, in which Tyrael Mirrodin retake the front line. And it could be interesting. It could go either way, like we say, but
mm,
I'm really liking Onyx Esports composition. I'm really keen to
mm.
see if they can pull it off.
See, both teams have done a really good drafting and counter drafting against each other, and you know what? I'm excited. Team Deathmatch, Onyx Esports. So Onyx Esports, relatively, or not too much of a new team on the scene. They have been around scrimming for a while now. Hearing some great things behind about them, but Team Deathmatch, I mean, this has got some really good players on it. But these guys are a new team, newly formed in the last couple of weeks. So it'd be good to see where they're coming from, the
Mm,
direction this team is going to take. So it's a bit of a sneak preview to their 2016 year here, getting to watch Team Deathmatch play.
indeed. So I'm going to assume here. Let's have a look. Tucker Fury, Bullcrow, Grump Shot, Elo. Who was the fifth there? Do we have a team list? It's kind of makes this sort of hard, doesn't it?
You can
We'll
go
just
into Battlefy and check it out.
nice, fantastic. Well, we'll wait until we get into the game anyway. We'll read out the teams, who's playing what, and we'll get into the groove of things. But yeah, always exciting getting the first game into it at the day. I'm pretty sure we're all ready as well. Grumpshot being such a humble person there, asking if we're ready, mate. We're ready for you, and we'll always be waiting on the gamers. We got to be prepared ourselves. But yeah, I'm gonna to be honest with you. I'm really liking the Onyx Esports composition, but I mean, it's just so hard to predict. It's
Mm.
something I've learned from watching these games over the past couple of casts is
Yeah.
anything can happen. You know, like you
Mm.
look at a team com and you think, oh, they've got one support. They're not going to do too well. Next thing you know, they pick a Murky and they just, they absolutely tear face up and with one support. Something strange like that, you know. So I'm not going to put the other team in a doubtful position just yet.
That's
Going to
it.
give
Don't
them a
don't put
nice,
them don't put them
nice
in
chance.
box because these are all amazing players.
Exactly. And all these team comps and all these like differences and all these what people might see as um, not imbalances but advantages or disadvantages in your team comp. You know, a lot of people are aware of that before you even
Mm.
go into the game, so they'll be playing, moving their play style around their disadvantages or their advantages, and yeah, it separates
Mm.
a good player from not necessarily the best player. You know, so it's gonna be awesome to see how they handled this situation. But I mean, with what you were saying about their team comp respectively, I mean, it's also pretty darn good. So on the left hand side, we do have Rhaegar being played by Delphia, Dini playing Raynor, King Kong playing Sonya, James playing Jaina, Zami playing ETC.
All
And
right,
that is Team Deathmatch.
and on the right hand side of the map, in red, ready to just take this tournament by storm, we do have Onyx Esports, where we have Grumpshot playing as Karazim, Moxie will be Sylvanas, Taco Fairy is playing the King of Fairies, Kelsis, Bullcrow will be playing Tychus, and Elo will be playing Mirrodin.
Indeed, and here we go. The standard startings for these sort of games is the heroes move out into the storm, into the
Now this,
thicket, as it were. But look at this, they're already getting into a bit of trouble here. ETC dropped so low before the fight. It's even really begun. But Elo looking in a bit of a dangerous situation as well. Bullcrow might possibly go down a lot of damage, and can the auto attack kill him? Not quite. Just a little bit misplaced by the CM there.
mm,
But no, there's no worries. Jane is just going to be able to walk off, and she'll be pretty proud about that one. But just a hair off, a follicle off getting that kill there.
I was about to say, this is a I've watched a bit of scrims from Onyx eSports, and that's kind of one of their opening strategies there, is they just go in for a 5-man, easy gank. Oh, Moxie's in a little bit of trouble in the bottom lane.
Oh.
Early kill, I mean, it's not that detrimental, because it's so early in the game right now, but, I mean, that is, that's Team Deathmatch, just showing Onyx eSports that, look, when you guys try and gank, you get close. When we do it, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ETC is such a strong gank, and with James' burst damage, especially when he starts picking up that the stronger crits, it's really going to be hard for it. And I mean, you did say that, in fact, it was not that.
Oh, hang on, here's another gank coming down the bottom lane. ETC goes in, Grumpshot's in a little bit of trouble. He hasn't jumped on yet. A lot of damage going out. He does get away. Moxie arriving in the nick of time.
Yeah, but I mean, you were saying about how the pick for the Sylvanas wasn't too huge. I would tend to agree, but Sylvanas, I mean, she's such a strong character in a lane by herself. The pushing power she brings is just absolutely insane. So, I mean, that was a really good pick. It's really going to help them out just for that little bit longer. And Jaina, you know, she's only got as much burst as her combo allows. So clearing lanes sometimes against a Sylvanas can be really, really challenging, especially getting picked down all the time. But look at the top lane here. Kael'thas getting pretty low. King Kong sorting that out. Sonya with a big damage, of course, going to be able to finish that off. Nice clothy goes down. Nice and fast.
That's it. I mean, that's two kills to Team Deathmatch right now. I mean, they're being very predominant. They're very leading this front game so far. And talking about that, like, just going back to that Sylvanas, I mean, this gives Team Deathmatch a little bit of a decision they have to make. When the tribute does spawn, we can see Onyx here just distract. Oh, it's in the bottom lane, so it's not too much of a valid right now. But Sylvanas could push the lane, could decide to push the lane as opposed to going to the tribute. And both teams have enough to delay their opponent from picking up that tribute. So Sylvanas could be cheeky and get cheeky experience from this. And look at this, Kael'thas is actually the one doing this time. He will actually gain the experience in the top lane. So Onyx eSports is looking to draw this fight out as much as they can. The big fight goes out. James is in a little bit of trouble. He has to back out here. Bullcrow himself now is in a little bit of an issue and will be taken out. Blocked on by Sonya. There's great body blocking there. Again, we just see Onyx just unable to finish off their opponents. But then they overextend and they themselves get into a bad situation. However, they've been soaking almost 3 constant lanes this entire time. Losing that hero didn't help them too much because they've lost, you know, a little bit of experience in that regard. But they're keeping within the game by soaking these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, the Kael'thas was a pretty good play by him. I mean, the first tribute is one you can easily give up. But look at the game coming out in a bit of a situation, talking so early, Star, but you are such a fool. Zemi's just like listening, cues, like sniping on the stream right now, just waiting for me to say something silly. Gets in there and picks himself up a kill. But yeah, no, I was saying it was very nice soaking, but you can actually sacrifice that first tribute very early if you feel comfortable, and they did. But look at this, Blue's response to that, you know, they're going to be able to gank top. Now they've gone and got their hard camp, pressure at the mid lane, and now they're just going to push up with that. And look at Muradin being a bit cheeky as well. Delphia just saying, oh, you're there? Don't worry about that. I'll just take this tower and be on my way. Thank you very much.
And that's it. But however, he will be able to heal himself out. Actually, I thought Kelton might be able to ride in and get a cheeky gravity lapse just right at the end there, but deciding to clean out that lane instead. The next tribute has spawned. We're going to see how Onyx responds to this. They are down a little bit in experience, so we're going to see Kel.
Grump shot. Walking into the bush, something you don't normally do, and something you shouldn't do, really.
Don't face check the bush.
You mustn't ever face check the brush. Especially when there's a tribute right there. But they are going to pick that second one up, bringing it 2-0 to Team Deathmatch in terms of the tributes. And they have got a couple of towers, so the XP lead's going to get a bit further forward now. Sammy going in and getting a nice pushback onto Bullcrow, and they are going to get another kill onto that Terror, which is going to open up that mid lane a nice bit more for them. And Delphia doing a fantastic job of applying that pressure. But also, in the top lane, you know, Kael'thas trying to do his part and reapplying the pressure back for their team.
That's it. We do see that Onyx eSports, they haven't over panicked here. They haven't gone, oh no, they're all in our mid lane, we better go deal with it. They've just kept pushing the top and bottom lane. They've had to trade a fortification for doing that, but it is again keeping that experience up so they're not losing too much on the lead. And we're still close to level 10. Oh, Zany goes in, tries to get another little Grumpy shot, but Grumpy does manage to back out.
They are converging, though. They are moving up towards this top tribute, and it does look like the red team is actually in a bit of a better situation here. So it does look like King Kong's actually in a bit of a quarrel himself. Sonya doing as much damage as she can, but they turn that around nice and fast onto the Kale, and Allo Muradin trying to get into the front line. Deeney's sitting at the back as Reynor gets stunned. Is he going to go down? Getting jumped on 3v1 there, but the passive is proccing. Here comes the tanks to kind of clean that up, and Moxie now in the situation of danger, and Grumpshot getting taken out. Bullcrow and Moxie sitting at the back just wondering what the heck happened to them. But unfortunate fight there for them. Just kind of out position there with the front lines, and Zami doing such a great job of just disrupting the fights and really breaking them up, allowing Reynor and other squishy targets to move freely within the fight.
We saw Onyx eSports as stuff for that just be too overconfident. They thought that they had that tribute, and then they broke out that fight with Sonya. Effectively, they left Tyrael by himself to do nothing, get distracted, and then they were split up themselves. They had no real path to escape.
Oh, Bullcrow might potentially get picked again, but no, the Sword of Justice will save him there. Gets the heck out as fast as he can. But leaving the Onyx team there, they're just in a bit of a weird situation. They don't really want to move forward and take this on as they are behind. The ultimates have been popped in a big ETC. Ultimate is going to establish themselves another kill. ETC moving out for the mosh pit, and oh, nice. Ancestral healing there being popped onto the Sonya, going to keep her in the fight, and he is probably going to be able to clean up at least one more kill. Grumpshot and the rest just really trying to get away from this, but they are moving towards the mid tower. Maybe ETC's in a bit of a silly situation here. Just runs out with his noisy hoops as quick as he possibly can, and they are able to pick up another fortification.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard spot right now for Onyx eSports. I mean, they're at level 10 now, so they're in a better spot. They can start taking team fights again. But the pressure that came out of Team Deathmatch was just so massive. I mean, you saw there, the curse came up, and a lot of teams get tempted to take the boss during the curse. However, not Team Deathmatch. They followed up behind their curses. They soaked the extra experience from those minions. They got in. I mean, they've done so much pressure to this map, it's not funny. That they just played that so well. They knew they didn't need the boss at this stage of the game right now. And it's just given them such a huge level lead.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing as well with the Rhaego. Delphia just really using that mobility he has on the map to just go around and really scope out what's going on. So they do see they took the hard camp, obviously, but he did go up and put an Earthbind Totem down and, by that brush, just by the boss, and didn't really see anything going on. So it was a pretty safe assumption to say, you know what, they're not going for their boss. We can kind of take ours, not worry about that, and move up towards them and try and deal with them in their own way. So they are going to rotate to mid now and fix up this little error in the mid lane, just being that hard camp. Easy camp being picked up for the red team to kind of stop that boss in the bottom lane. Very nice pickup by Sylvanas. Going to help them out a whole...
Oh, look at this. Onyx eSports, they're actually getting in position. They know that Deathmatch is going to come up for the boss, and Elo's gone a little bit early. He's by himself. He might get exploded. Divine Shield comes out. Sorry, not Divine Shield. The pill comes out, keeping him alive. And then we just see people getting slashed everywhere on so many fronts. Sylvanas is down. Jaina is down. Bullcrow will be the next to fall. No, he won't. It was actually be Grumpshot. And we see just Deathmatch just coming out way on top just then.
Yeah, I mean, Jaina, she actually did a really clever thing just then. She really baited out the ultimate from Kalthas, the Tornado, Gravity Lapse, and the improved AoE, which she all avoided, to be honest. She got hit down to 20%, ice blocked and dodged the ultimate, and the ultimate wasn't on any of the other people from Team Deathmatch. So a wee bit of a tricky bait by her, and I think it wasn't 100% intentional just by looking at it now, but it was a very good play. So very nice ice block, actually really disturbing the whole flow of the fight for Team Onyx there. They're able to pick up their second boss as well, Team Deathmatch, so the first one being a bot lane, the second one now at top, and this is going to be quite difficult for the red team. They are slowly falling behind, and you got to ask yourself in this situation, what is the best thing we can do? Obviously, they have to kill this boss, get rid of it as fast as they can, so it's going to take a bit of their time. But all the while, you know, Team Deathmatch, they just have a free pass to go wherever they want on the map. There's plenty of camps to take, there's plenty of buildings to destroy, and it is really their game at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Onyx eSports still has to deal with this boss. And while this is going on, you've got Deathmatch just sitting there taking another keep. Just adding more pressure in that middle lane now. There's 3 levels advantage. I mean, soon to be at that 4th stage. Extra talent coming up as well. I mean, that is 2 extra talents actually. That's going to be a massive position for Deathmatch to just really do whatever they want. Onyx eSports has to look at trying to gain experience. I mean, their lanes are pushed in quite a lot on each way now, so in theory, they can gain experience much better, but they've really got to be. It's a hard position for them. They can't. They have to separate to soak, but that puts them in a bad position. So they've got to be thinking, how can we force pressure on the team deathmatch? And you know what? Right now, I don't know if there's any way they can because there's no mercenary camps for them to pick up.
Exactly.
They
I
can't
mean,
split push.
yeah, they really do have to wait for the opportunity to come and be presented to them.
Mm,
I do, I do think they could win a team fight potentially if it went in their favor, if they kind of got like a really tricky situation off. But it is really hard for them, like you said. It's not as easy as just them going in and winning a team fight. It really
yeah.
just has to be pulled off with an amazing combo by Bullcrow. The front line really brings the team together for Team
Mm.
Onyx, and if it falls down and the back line gets taken, they instantly lose that fight. So I think they're very aware of that, and with the level advantage, it's so hard for them to even press that. But look at this. Team Deathmatch, so confident. They're just going to walk right past them in the vision and just pick up their easy, the enemy easy.
Yeah.
And while they're doing that, they don't really care. I think they're just going to walk up and grab this tribute, but this is looking a bit scary for the blue team here.
Oh, I mean, Onyx trying to set a trap, but Kelthis could explode pretty fast. Does back out. Big gravity lapse, actually. Elo goes in, Phoenix goes down, Watermelon out. We see the mosh pit of 3 heroes! That is massive! We see Hyperion coming out, and that's just going to wreck Onyx eSports. And that has got to be it for that 5-man wipe. Back a tribute from this. Their core is being flooded with ogres, catapults, men in friggin' big armor. It is over, Starling. It is over. This game is going to Team Deathmatch.
Yeah, that was an amazing game by Team Deathmatch there. I've got to say, that last team fight with the Kalthas, that gravity lapse really set them up to that fight on top of all the amazing combos coming out. James walking around the back line with that ETC ultimate going down and just blew up. So that was just fantastic. An amazing way, just concur, to start off this Kings of ANZ round robin.